This fellowship was created in those mountains. Those are the mountains of King David. That's the mountains of the book of Psalms. The Aragot farm, that calling to build what we're building here together came into the world here. I don't know what that means, but I know that that's significant. And we're building this spiritual sanctuary together. It's like, what a testimony to the Torah we're learning. What a witness to the ways of God. Our spiritual foundations are manifesting in the physical Judean desert mountains. And now they're bearing fruit from our vineyards. I mean, we're witness to his promise. And we are living by the Spirit of Jerusalem, connecting heaven and earth, spiritual and physical, prophecy and reality. This place that we're building, it's our offering to Hashem. It is our Korban. It is our sacrifice. It's our vehicle to draw close to him, to manifest his ways in the world. And, Korban, sacrifice, it's usually like a terrible translation, sacrifice. That has so much baggage. But if we're talking about the month of Elul, a month of coming close to God, we really need to understand what that word means. There's pagan ideas around it, child sacrifice and virgins being thrown into volcanoes. I mean, what were they sacrificing to and for what? I mean, who knows? But all that stuff kind of is jungled in our mind. And I just want to go to the essence for a moment of the Torah sacrifice. And if you look at the word in Hebrew, korban comes from the word karov. It's the same root. Literally, korban in karov. It's not like the pagan Greek Roman rituals. The sacrifice isn't there to appease God, but in its essence, it's a process of drawing closer to his ways, closer to him. And in some ways in that process, through the process of that korban, we become who we're meant to be. And so that's a beautiful idea, but we really need to take that idea seriously. If we want to become who we need to become, if we really want to draw close to the ultimate good, we want to draw closer to God, we're going to have to burn off old parts of us. You're going to have to sacrifice parts of yourself, the baggage you carry around, the parts that bring you down, the bad habits we've held on to. You can't draw closer without first shedding some old skin that has restricted our growth. And that's another reason. There's another word that's rooted in the word korban, and that's the word krav, which means battle. Now imagine that. It's like sacrifice to draw close in battle. It's like on our way to Sinai, on our way to Revelation, on our way to the land of Israel. We had to battle Amalek. That's like right here from this week's Parsha. We had to fight. Life is work. To succeed, you got to work hard. It's a battle. There's a reason Mashiach, the king of Israel, King David, is introduced to the nation first and foremost as the man who took down Goliath. He's a warrior. You want to be closer? You want to be who you can be? You want to draw closer to your personal destiny? You want to rebuild the land of Israel? You want to build Jerusalem? It's going to be a krav. It's going to be a battle. We're going to have to really work through processes in order to get there. And sometimes what happens to me when I think about that is, I don't want to go to battle. I don't want to fight. Life is hard enough. I'll be good. I'll be good. Just don't make me go out to battle. I mean, I got a lot. I got 6 kids. I got a thing. I just let me be. I'll be good. I don't want to fight. So what do I do with that? I mean, that's like my human nature kicks in and I lose my motivation because I'm not always up for the battle. And sometimes I want to be so much better and I think about who I could be and it's like too much light. It's like staring at the sun. It blinds me. It's like we set our goals and our aspirations and the whole thing seems so impossible that we just like crumble under the pressure of it all. The battle seems too big, too long, and I'm out. I give up. I'm done. And we have guidance. We have guidance encoded in the Torah for us to help us navigate this world. It's so deep and it's so meaningful. It's 4,000-year-old wisdom. And last session, we learned that the day of the giving of the second tablets was on Yom Kippur, which is on the 10th of Tishrei. And that process, Moses was up there for 40 days. So the bulk of that time was the 30 days of Elul and then the 10 days of until Yom Kippur. That 40 days was like the essence of Elul. And I want to go deeper into the structure of that story because it's going to help us navigate this process of Elul. And, every story in the Torah is prophecy. But prophecy isn't only about telling the future, but it's a code about how to live that's everlasting. It's as relevant now as it was then. That's just the essence of prophecy. It's true in all times. It's true in the future. It's true in the past. And these stories have to be understood on the level of remez. They have to be understood also as symbolic. They are symbols marking a way on a map of how to live. They were written to help us navigate this confusing, chaotic world and bring order into our lives and help us maximize our potential and create life that will foster blessing for us, for our loved ones, to allow us to live our best lives. And so here's the process the Torah gives us here now. I'm going to open up to Exodus chapter 32, verse 15 and 16. It says, Moses turned down, descended from the mountain with 2 tablets of testimony in his hand, tablets inscribed on their sides. They were inscribed on one side and the other side. The tablets were God's handiwork. The script was the script of God engraved on the tablets. These are the first tablets that Moses got. Look at the verse. Inscribed on their sides. They were inscribed on one side and the other side. Why does it say it twice? The Midrash tells us that the tablets were carved all the way through the stone, and you could read it on both sides, which is, of course, miraculous. They were of another world. There's another Midrash says that it was like carved out of the throne of God, made of the Eben Sapir, made of the sapphire stone of the color Tchelet. That's like just, it's otherworldly. It's beyond. And then it says, the tablets were God's handiwork. The script was the script of God. Like it's repeating itself. It's like the verse says, this is God's handiwork here. This is beyond natural. This is supernatural. This is beyond human. That was the first revelation. And it ended in disaster. It ended with a golden calf. The people at Sinai, who were the Jewish people in the mixed multitudes of nations who joined them, we all stood together at Sinai. And we had a face-to-face encounter with the ultimate good. They saw who they could be. They saw the potential that God had given us. They experienced what this world could look like. They experienced everything. And that experience absolutely crushed them. The Midrash said that they actually died. It was just too much light, blinded them. It hurt so bad, they begged Moses, the last 8 commandments, just you give it to us. I don't want to hear the direct command. It's too much light. That's why the first 2 commandments are, I am the Lord your God. And already by the next commandment, it's already like, you shall not make other images. It's like a different way of talking because the first 2 were direct, ultimate revelation. And it was just too much. It hurt so bad. The experience was so overwhelming. It was so demoralizing. They just gave up on the whole enterprise. That is the sin of the golden calf. It like represents a total breakdown in living. It's like, we're not up for this. We're out. And so we failed. We fell. What do we do now? We get back up. We go after it again. But this time, we do it differently. Elul style. What happens then? Moses goes up in Elul for 40 days. On Yom Kippur, he comes down with a second set of tablets. But these tablets are fundamentally different. Look at Exodus chapter 34, verse 1 through 4. Hashem says to Moshe, carve for yourself 2 stone tablets like the first ones. And I shall inscribe on the tablets the word that were on the first tablets which you shattered. So he, Moses, carved out 2 stones, tablets like the first ones. In Elul, here is what the process is. We need to really open our hearts and our minds to the possibility of who we could be in the world, the ultimate good. And all of us have messed up. We've messed up in our relationships, and we've messed up in our careers, and we've messed up with our children, and there's not a thing in my life that I haven't botched up. And it's like, okay, I want to be ultimate good. I just want a breakthrough in moment where I can just see it good. And then, okay, that's not easy because it's like so far out of reach. Can I really fix my life? And it's like, okay, doing that actually might crush us. But exposing ourselves to the light gives us at least the direction of where we should be striving. And that process of Elul is to carve out for ourselves our own tablets, not the ultimate good. It's of another world. It's of another time. It's like so far off. Don't worry. You don't need to go all the way there. But carve out our own tablets at our own level, at our own pace, in our own way. They are the image in the direction of those otherworldly tablets. But the otherworldly tablets, they're not really for us. The first tablets, they were perfect, written by the untouchable finger of God that is out of human reach. It's out of reach for everyone. Those tablets are stored away in the Ark of the Covenant. They are our covenant to strive towards and always draw closer to God. But they'll always remain out of reach, and that's okay. They're not meant to be reached. We need a moment of revelation, a breakthrough, a moment where we just envision our lives as their ultimate version of ourselves. But then, don't let it crush you. It's okay. Then the work is to carve out our own way towards our best self. That is why the month of Elul is called the month of mercy, the month of the womb. When Moses goes up to receive the second tablets, he's carving them out. The very next verse, he receives the revelation of the 13 attributes of God's mercy. It's like, he's merciful, he's kind, he's good. In this process, we can grow, now protected, sheltered at our own pace, surrounded by all of those 13 attributes naturally.